Hey there, it's me, Zaina, and today our topic is about the nervous system. Our sense organs cannot recognize anything on their own. They're like receiving centers. They receive the messages or sensations and then sends them to the nervous system. Now, the nervous system has three main parts. The first one is the brain, the spinal cord, and then the nerves. We can visualize our body as if it's a computer. For example, the brain, it acts like the computer which tells the specific thing to do. For example, like when you click the mouse and choose an option to press to work on. For example, you chose the MS PowerPoint. You clicked it. That means you chose what is gonna happen. Next, the spinal cord. The spinal cord acts like the cable which connects the computer to the electricity system. For example, the light. You can see that it's plugged in and now the lights are going through the cord. Next and lastly, we have the nerves. The nerves are like the wires which connect all the computer's part together, which actually is literally our body, because the nerves connects all of our body parts together. Let's talk about the brain in detail. The brain is the center of control. It controls our bodies by sending and receiving messages from our sense organs. The brain has three main parts. The first part is called the cerebrum, and the next one is the cerebellum, and the last one is medulla. Cerebrum tells our body parts to do what it should do in a particular situation. The cerebellum controls the voluntary movement of our bodies. For example, I'm moving my hands, I'm making hand gestures. This is controlled by the cerebrum. And this medulla controls the involuntary activities such as breathing, blinking, digestion, etc. Now, let me tell you where these are situated. The cerebrum is the main part of the brain, the one we normally see and call the brain. Next, the cerebellum is situated right under the cerebellum. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrae, which makes a column. In this column, there is a thick rope-like nerves. There are thick rope-like nerves called the spinal cord. Messages travel to and fro between the spinal cord and our brain. All the nerves connect to the spinal cord, which allows the messages to go to our brain. And the spinal cord also controls the reflex actions. The reflex actions are the ones which are done in a certain flash of a second, and we have no control over that. Let me give you an example. Suppose you touched a cactus. So now you touched it. You almost immediately withdraw your hand because you know that it hurts a lot, right? Just like that, our muscles and nerves form these reflex actions. The thorn is touched. The nerves, our skin feels it. It sends the messages to our nerves. Our nerves continue to go to our spinal cord, and the spinal cord sends what should be done. And these messages are actually sent to the one of the vertebrae. And lastly, we have the main thing, nerves. The nerves is made up of nerve cells called neurons. there are mainly three types of nerves. Not mainly, there are only three types of nerves: sensory nerves, motor nerves, and mixed nerves. So, what are these nerves used for, and why are they so different from each other? First of all, sensory nerves are the nerves which control and feel from the and works with the sense organs. For example, let's go back to the situation of us pricking a thorn. We touch the thorn with our hands, but basically it's touching our skin. Just like that, the skin is connected to the nerves and it sends the messages. Next, we have motor nerves, which are inside our body and sends messages. For example, when you're hungry, you have a feeling that you're hungry, you're starving, you need food. Just like that, motor nerves are the nerves which work with the bodies with all the other organs except from our sense organs. And what are the sense organs? The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So the sense organs work along with the nervous system, but they're not counted in it as the system only contains inside our body, not outside. The sense organs just act like collecting centers, just like I told in the first of the video. But as the sense organs are important for this system to continue, we will talk about the sense organs in details. Eyes work like cameras on the computer, which is just like how I'm taking a video on my tablet. Our eyes are like cameras of our body. There are two eyes, as we all know, and they have flap-like eyelids to cover like how we're blinking. The ones that we're blinking with are called eyelids. The eyelids protect our eyes so that we can unauthorized, you could say, unauthorized substances cannot enter our eyes and give infections. That's why also with the eyelids we have eyelashes. The eyelashes collect the dust so that it does not enter our eyes. Then these two protect our eyes from foreign matters, which is really essential for the betterment of our eyes. The eyelashes are connected to our eyelids, as we all know. So we see an object when light bounces on it, and bounces on the object and then enters our eye. We can see that a particular object through a transparent area called the cornea. The cornea is basically a really thin, transparent covering. Then just behind the cornea is the iris, and on the iris is the pupil. The iris is a flat, colored ring, ring-shaped circle, and it has different colors. Like different people have different colors from their genetics. Suppose I have brown eyes. Some of you might have blue eyes. Some of you might have red eyes. It's simple. So, and the pupil is like the black dot which we see inside our eyes. You know, like in those cartoons we see, like there's like just one circle, but no, there is actually two circles in our eyes, which actually is the main part. Because the pupil is a type of muscle which is adjustable with controlling and depending on the light. Let's take an example of daytime and nighttime. So in daytime, sunlight enters our home or outside. That time our pupils become smaller to let less light in because it's already having the enough amount of light to see objects. Whereas in nighttime or during nighttime, our pupil become bigger than usual because it needs more light to enter and see objects. And these are all thanks to the muscles which makes up the pupil. Behind the pupil lies a clear lens. The lens focuses on the picture and sends it to the retina. There are tiny nerves on the retina and they send messages to a bigger nerve called the optic nerve. The optic nerve then sends the messages to our brain and the brain tells us what we have seen in front of us. Next, let's talk about ears. We need our ears to listen and hear different sounds. And most part of our ear is inside the head. The ear has three main parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Ears also help in maintaining the balance of our body, and sound waves travel into our into the ear canal. It travels into the ear canal and reach the eardrum. Most of us have heard about the eardrum, and we tell to little children not to scream in our ears because it might harm the eardrum. Yes, that's actually correct. But we'll get to those points later on. The sound waves from the eardrum passes in the form of vibrations through the middle ear. Then it goes to the inner ear, like the deep end of the ear, which is practically about in here, but it's not over here, it's like inside. And inside the inner ear there are tiny hairs, like really thousands of tiny hair cells. These hair cells are the ones which change the vibrations into electrical signals that are sent to the brain from the hearing nerve. The brain then tells us what type of sound we have heard. Now, let's talk about the nose. Special nerve cells are present on the upper part of our nose. When gas particles enter our nose, they reach the nerve cell, these special nerve cells, and they send special smell messages to our brain. Then our brain tells what we have smelled, and without even seeing what the object actually is. You can take this as an example. Your mom is cooking a pizza, and you didn't know about it. She was giving you a surprise, but you smelled it, and you understood that it was a pizza. Just like that, how your nose works just the same thing, in a flash of a second. Now, you might have also observed that when you have cold, you cannot breathe normally, and your nose is blocked. You cannot smell anything, and it's very uncomfortable because our nerve cells doesn't work properly. It hampers our sending the special smell messages. Next, we have the tongue. Our tongue helps us to taste different things, and it mainly has five different types of tastes: salty, bitter, sweet, sour, and spicy. Our tongue is covered with about 2,000 to 8,000 different taste buds. These taste buds have different columns which have different types of taste. As you can see in the diagram, the tongue has been separated. You can see that there's a spicy section, a sweet section, a bitter section, a sour section, and a salty section. Our nose is very much important for our tongue, as if when you have a cold, let's take back the same example, when you have a cold, your nose is blocked. You you cannot take the smell. And the smell is very important for different types of taste. This is why you also cannot feel the actual taste of the food. Lastly, we have the skin. The skin is the largest sense organ of our body and it covers our entire body. It contains several several nerve endings, which helps in the feeling and touching of other things. It also protects the internal organs. All these organs, the nerves, the brain, the spinal cord, work together as a team to send messages and tell us what we have seen, heard, tasted, smelled, or felt. And also, we need to also take care of our sense organs. That's it for today. I hope you have learned a lot of new things and it might help you for your studies and for your better understanding of our body. Bye!